What's up, guys? Episode 16. Different scenery here, here in DP's garage for the past 15 episodes, but the cold will do that to you, kid. So we moved the editor and all of us inside. The editor's happy about it. He's just got a light jacket on right now, but Mackie, we're gonna throw it to you, buddy. Are you sipping on any bourbon?
Gotta sip on bourbon in the damn frozen tundra, kid.
What are we thinking?
McKenna 10 year tonight. Cheers to you, gentlemen. I'm the only one drinking. Pretty soft, but
Some of us worked out in this cold weather for 10 hours today.
nice one, John. 2 men in a truck.
But
I'll take the shout out.
we do have to talk about our first topic. We're going to be talking about college football again, obviously. So I'll let Johnny take this one over, considering that his team won. So, John, tell us about the national championship and how you think it went.
Yeah, the $20 million roster got it done. At the end of the day, I think these were two teams that honestly, like I said to DP many times, neither of these two teams were very hateable. They both had a bunch of Jesus believing guys, teams that came together, both had rough losses early in the year and kind of rallied around each other. And all around, it showed on the field. Obviously, Ohio State had a little more talent, but Notre Dame's heart, they battled back in that football game. And I'll be honest, I got a little scared there at the end. They never gave up, but at the end of the day, the best player on the field, which is Jeremiah Smith, makes a play. And Will Howard, great season. Emeka Egbuka, great career. Jack Sawyer, JT, Jordan Hancock. I could go down the line. Cody Simon, defensive MVP in that game. Just an absolute great run. I mean, think about the teams they beat on that run to the national championship. I mean, if you look at it, yeah, their go down is they lost to Michigan this year, but at the end of the day, the Ohio State Buckeyes are national champions. We're playing that fucking Jello, baby. And I'm not going to run my mouth too much, but I was on cloud nine, boys. Hit for about $1,000 on that game. So go Bucks! And what a football game! What a college football season! And obviously we're already turning the page into next year. So we'll see what happens next year. A lot of questions marks on that Buckeyes and Notre Dame team, especially at the quarterback position.
DP, what do you got?
Yeah, obviously, at the end, talent obviously were to win out. Great football game. I'm glad to see the fight, out of Notre Dame here. But, I wouldn't say I figured it would happen, but, going into the game when you're a 9.5-point underdog in the national championship game, something has to give eventually. And, the main thing was they just couldn't get off the field on third down. They were, 9 of 11, 9 of 12, 10 of 12 on, third down. And, at no level in football, you're going to be able to win a football game when you can't get off the field on third down. Did see Notre Dame had, 8 offensive possessions. 4 of them went for 70-plus yards. And, I mean, if half your drives go 70 yards and ends up in a score, it's not the offense's fault, where they've been at fault for most of the year. The defense just couldn't get you the ball back. But I'm excited for what those seniors brought, dealing with Brian Kelly and then now moving forward with Marcus Freeman. I think it's going to be great. I think that they'll be back. Shout out Jack Kaiser, 1A school pioneer. Captain Notre Dame, hell of a career. Thanks, Jack. Shout out Drake Bowen as well, here from the region. Andran, tied with Xavier Watts with 8 tackles in the game. It's just nice to see that, guys who played football, with these guys, me and John at the 2A level here in Indiana. Just being able to see these guys play on a stage like this, it's kind of crazy. Oh wow, I played against you in high school and now we're in the national championship game.
Yeah, Drake Bowen ended my high school career as a freshman.
And so it's just nuts. I think that we'll be back. Excited to see what next year holds. As John said, the quarterback position is going to be big, but we returned 16 starters total, not counting the guys with injury. Everybody on the offensive line is back. J Love is back. Secondary is pretty much back besides Watts. So I'll be excited to see what the teams moving forward. For Notre Dame on to Miami in week 1. Cavender curse. Beck, you're going down at home, buddy.
Yeah, and Ohio State's got Texas. So 2 huge matchups for both these teams again.
Mackie, what'd you think about the national championship, buddy?
It was a good game. I know DP pointed out that 4 of your 8 drives go 70 yards. You probably should win the game. I'm not necessarily going to say I disagree, but the offense went completely dormant for 2.5 full quarters. Um, and the defense was obviously gassed. I mean, this game was won in the trenches, despite Jeremiah Smith's long play at the end of the game. But overall, just a couple questionable calls from the Notre Dame coaching staff that I personally didn't agree with. I don't like a zero blitz on that third down there. You leave Jeremiah Smith one-on-one on the outside. I guarantee you he wins that 85 to 90% of the time. Just wasn't a good call in my opinion. And then obviously not kicking the field goal, which Mitch Jeter missed, was pointless too. I understand from the perspective of a low percentage play, but kicking the field goal there does nothing for your chances to win the game. So I just didn't understand that.
All right. Well, leaves it for me. I enjoyed this game. I didn't. The only part about the game that I didn't enjoy was the second quarter. Um, that was a miserable 15 minutes of football for Notre Dame, and that had a huge reason why the boys didn't pull it off. Ohio State just completely dominated in that quarter for 15 minutes straight, putting up 21 points. I mean, going to and a half, we were lucky to be down 14. It felt like the second quarter was an hour and 30 minutes long of just you football that Ohio State was putting down.
Shout out Noah Rangel. You football, baby.
And but it's the Irish mentality in the third and fourth quarter. I'm happy to see that they fought and they did give me hope. We hold them on that 3rd and 11 last play. Who knows? Irish get the ball, maybe go down and score. But that team's good, man. That Ohio State team is good. I really like both quarterbacks. It's good to see that. I really love Riley Leonard, obviously, but it's good to see that Will Howard and him are on the same faith level. It's good to see that, the broadcast didn't cut out when they were thanking Jesus for their teams playing so well. So, honestly, Ohio State's, like DP said, 9.5 point spread. You'd expect the better team to win that. So, I was optimistic about Notre Dame, and I'm happy with how they played. But yeah, just the better football team won the game, and so. But like he said, shout out Drake Bowen. I sent out a tweet at a writer that was coming at the Notre Dame team. He's soft. If you didn't see my tweet, I said I'd like to see you and the writer in an alley and see who comes out smiling. Give me Drake Bowen every day of the week. But yeah, guys, I mean, John, congrats, brother, on your big win, one, and your bank account too. But we are gonna flip it. We were gonna talk about that for a while, and obviously it comes to heart for 3 out of the 4 guys on the pod. But our second topic is getting a little frisky here. Mackie, is Dion leaving college football to go coach the Cowboys?
Nope. He's not. He's back at Colorado. I can almost guarantee it. Looks like Cowboys are going to promote from within. It seems to me like they just whiffed on every coach they wanted. Nobody wants to go play. No one wants to go coach or play for Jerry.
So you think, Mackie, that there's no chance that the Cowboys get Dion, or do you still think that there's a possible chance of? Because that is the biggest coaching spot in the NFL, like money
I would
wise.
go. I'd go 0.1% chance he goes to Dallas. He's going to go. If he's going anywhere, he's going to coach his kid.
All right, John, we know you love the Buffaloes. So is Dion leaving the Buffaloes, kid?
Yes. I truthfully do believe from what I've read I saw not even a week ago, the odds for him to go there were plus 130. I mean, Vegas doesn't just put lines out and just give you free money. You know what I'm saying? So I think it would be absolutely insane for him to leave Colorado after what he's built there. He's got how many 5-star recruits, how many 4-star recruits? I mean, yes, everybody and their mother as a college kid would want to go play for Deion Sanders. Prime time, it's electric, is what it is. But like you said, the Cowboys coaching job is the biggest coaching job in the NFL. Deion Sanders is flashy enough and cocky and confident enough to deal with Jerry Jones. And I honestly think that if you pair these two together, I think it might work, especially when you still got a good middle-aged quarterback in Dak Prescott. So I'm all for, him coaching his kid and stuff, but you can't coach your kid in the NFL. I don't think it's ever happened. So I hope that doesn't happen. And I really do hope that Dion comes to the NFL because I think it'll be awesome to see, especially with how he coaches against his son and like coaching against Travis. Like that would be cool to see. So I'm gonna say yes. Obviously, that's a long shot, but I'm gonna say yes. I think he's gonna go to the Cowboys just because they haven't hired anybody yet, and I know they've been in talks, which kind of scares me a little bit. So we'll see what happens.
Let me throw something in there, John. Today, odds have shifted. Heavy minus 250 favorite Brian Schottenheimer to get promoted from offensive coordinator to head coach.
That's bad enough because I don't even know who that is.
DP is prime time going to Dallas.
No, he said on his podcast with Ocho and Shannon Sharp that he loves college football, that he wouldn't want to go to the NFL. I don't think that his coaching style would work in the NFL, truly. I think he's too much of an egotistical person that I think some of those guys might just tell him to just, like I think that people like CeeDee Lamb, who we saw sometimes has an attitude issue, that he's going to really take something from Dion. Like I don't know, like to the player, I mean, I wouldn't say that, CD is on Dion's level, but for the guys who are good at their position, it's like, dude, like I'm already like, I don't like people like Michael Parsons. You think he's really gonna like take light to like something that Dion tells him to? Like, I think he's gone from Dallas too. That's another conversation. But no, I don't think that he's going pro.
I also do not believe that prime time will be going to Dallas, John. I don't think this because, to be honest, I think that he would be afraid of failure in front of that spotlight. Buffalo, I mean, yeah, I mean they're like a good team right now. Would they go 8-4 this year?
9-3. Yeah, 9-4 because they lost to BYU.
Yeah. I don't know. I think he'd like being all over the headlines, but when he starts losing, I feel like he'd start blaming other people. I don't know. That's how I personally think about Dan. I don't like him. You guys all know this, but I don't know. That's a lot of money to pass up, though. If you were to get offered that money, I know Johnny wouldn't say no. I probably wouldn't either, but I'm not in that position. But
Can I touch on this real quick?
yeah,
Something I want to just point out real quick. Whoever does come in and coach the Cowboys, they're not getting a bad roster. Like most teams who are changing the coaching position, they're not getting a bad roster, and they're also getting a franchise quarterback. I like Dak Prescott. I think he's good. So I'm real curious to see how that shakes out.
yeah, Dak Prescott is good. But anyways, Mackie, who is your early Heisman prediction? Very early Heisman prediction, kid.
This is really tough. I mean, you don't. To me, before the transfer portal and everything else fully opens up and shakes out, I don't really typically have a pick. So I just price is right at this point and take Arch Manning, the odds-on favorite.
I saw he was plus 850 on FanDuel.
I think he's the favorite right now,
Yeah,
correct?
I think him and Garrett News. Yeah, yeah,
Nussmeier from
Nussmeier. I
LSU.
didn't know how to say his last name. I think those
Forgot
are the
about
two
Nussmeier.
candidates.
I'm not interested in Nussmeier at all.
No, but you can
Much
feed
against.
me this gentleman at plus 1600. He goes by Lenoris Sellers.
It's
Good one.
The,
Good one
the,
too, man.
the Gamecocks will be in the 12-team playoff next year. And this kid is going to have unbelievable stats, especially after losing a bowl game. I mean, what's his name? Bieber, the coach, is that his name?
Shane Beamer.
Shane Beamer?
Beamer ball,
Beamer.
baby.
Beamer. But he's fired up. I think they're going to be rolling on all cylinders next year. And I saw he's plus 1600, so I actually did throw $10 on that when we talked about this topic. So yeah, feed me Lenore Sellers for my pick.
How about Steve
John?
Angeli at plus 4,500?
I saw that. He's not even going to be the starting quarterback.
Yeah. We're gonna keep it real simple. We're gonna take the best player in college football this year. We're gonna roll him over. He's gonna be a sophomore next year. We're gonna go ahead and take Jeremiah Smith. I don't know what his odds are. I'm sure he's up there as one of the
1,200.
favorites, plus 1,200. A lot of this, as Mackie said, it's hard to tell because we don't know who's going to be throwing him the football. But I'm going to take the best player in the country in Jeremiah Smith. I think he might have, 1,500 receiving yards, 20 touchdowns next year. I think it's going to be ridiculous. I think They're going to be throwing him jump balls. You got to think Emeka Egbuka's gone. So give me Jeremiah Smith.
DP.
Don't play man-to-man coverage against them.
Yeah, I'll take the other Jeremiah here in Jeremiah Love. I only say this because question mark at quarterback for Notre Dame currently. You get the entire offensive line back. And I think, after the way that this season ended, him getting hurt a little bit, banged up after that, before the IU game and then being banged up during the playoffs, he's going to be kind of ready to roll. And I think that, having a cohesive unit finally for the first time at offensive line where, you're not losing 1 to 2 guys to the draft every single year, that all these guys were freshmen and sophomores and now they're all back again. So they can only get better. I think they'll rely heavily on the run game pending quarterback. So that's why I'm taking him. But don't count out Austin Simmons, Ole Miss quarterback. They're going to reload on offense. He's a great passer, very accurate. Look out for him. His odds are kind of crazy, like
35,000. 3,500. I like it. And then
Zach threw out one of the young SEC studs and Lenore Sellers, who I think is definitely the best out of the freshmen from this year. But another name I would like to just toss in there that's not as boring as Arch Manning, DJ Lagway sitting at plus 2,500.
Florida Gators.
Billy Napier goes and gets him some talent. That kid has an unbelievable motor. He's got a great arm. That's worth looking at, in my opinion. He's going to be very good. And then if you just want to wait. Yeah, if you just want to waste your money, you can put Nico Imaliaba at plus 1,100. That guy sucks.
I do agree with Mackie, but to touch on Lagway, I think his only loss as a starter was versus Georgia, and he got hurt in that game. He didn't finish the game.
Yeah, he didn't
You're
finish the
correct.
game.
And they were winning when he left
Yeah.
the game.
Wow. And to wrap up the college football segment, we're going to give out our early national champions. We're going to make this quick. We're just going to give our picks, and then we're going to head into college basketball. Mackie, you like to give short and sweet answers here. We'll start with you, buddy.
I like to kick it off. I'll take Penn State.
Penn State for Mackie. To DP.
Go Irish.
To John.
Ohio State versus Indiana. Ohio State wins.
So dumb.
He just always has to say something stupid.
That's because IU will have a horrendous Big Ten schedule again.
You could feed me the Irish. Why? Because I already bet it. Plus 1,600. Bang.
Donation.
Yes, you did.
Wait, but we're heading into the college segment, my favorite segment. And you know what they say, John? Boiler up, hammer down. The little Buckeyes going to Mackey. Shout out Mitch. You guys are third longest win streak at home. Poof, it's gone. 26 wins. We were at the blue chip. Feed me the little Buckeyes in Mackey. John, give it to me.
Micah Parrish. Micah Parrish. About time a big time transfer shows up for this Ohio State basketball team. They lost their last 4 before last night by 1 possession. They're 11-8 and very well be 14-5. And this basketball team, watching them gives me an absolute migraine. And to see them go in and beat the little Boilers last night.
Motorboated them, John.
Kid, yes. They didn't motorboat them, but they sure as hell beat them. And I don't care if it was by 1 or by 20, but what a win for Jake Diebler in his first season at Ohio State. Matter of fact, his first game last year as the interim head coach, he beat Purdue. Something about that Purdue team, they can't play the Buckeyes. I don't get it. Little Braden, you're a bum. Trey Goffman-Wren, you're a bum. I'm glad I could finally talk shit about Purdue again because you just lost to an 11-8 team at home, you bums. And gladly, Purdue sucks. Purdue's mid, like I said at the beginning of the year, and Ohio State basketball is back. 53% chance to make the tournament after last night. Give me Bruce Thornton and the Buckeyes to win the national championship.
You know what I liked about that? Is that kept my Buckeyes Big Ten winner alive.
3-5 in the
3-5 in the big. I think that they probably can't lose another game in the Big Ten, but they didn't last night. In the hardest place to play in the Big Ten? Are we serious? The little Buckeyes.
Micah Parrish, 22 basketball points.
And what I say, you could quote me, clip it. Tyler behind on the couch. He clips it right here. I said, if Braden Smith has a bad basketball game, that team loses. What happened? He had 12 points. He shot 3 for 12, and they lost.
Hey, Mackey knows all too well about this Ohio State team.
DP,
I mean,
Give me the Mac. We'll get to you. We'll get to you, Mac. Hold on to that. DP, how important was this win for the little Buckeyes?
Yeah, this is huge for Ohio State, to keep their Big Ten hopes alive. Because with the new teams, the bottom three teams don't make the Big Ten tournament, right?
They were sitting in the 16 spot last night.
So, that's huge for them, to keep their Big Ten tournament hopes alive. Because, I mean, you're not just fighting for, tournament bids anymore. You're fighting to make your own conference tournament. And, wins like this just boost morale. As John said, they've lost a couple games by, one possession. And, it's finally good to go into quiet Mackey and, win a basketball game for the Buckeyes. That's great. As, Zach touched on, little Braden, only 12 points. A good job shooting. I mean, Purdue, I thought you were supposed to be a great 3-point shooting team. Good job. 3 of 9. I mean, absolute garbage. Ohio State shot 48% from 3. They had a better free throw percentage. But I thought Mackey was an unwinnable place. You suck.
Mackey, break it down for us.
Matt
3 of
Peters a
9 from
bitch.
3-point land? That's embarrassing.
Mackey, you had better pup stats.
Yeah, that was a pretty good 3-point shooter if you were to ask me, but ring me. This game was awesome. Purdue kind of controlled the game until they didn't. I don't know if you guys thought that as well. I mean, up
We were
30
tuned in.
at halftime and then came out and literally just treaded water in the second half until Ohio State made a run. And guess what? Buckeyes close it out. Almost didn't. I know Johnny was sweating.
Oh, you have no idea,
Absolutely
Mackie.
sweating.
I'm sweating when I'm sitting there at Blue Chip watching the game, not playing blackjack.
I mean, but back to touch on this real quick. You played a full 40-minute game and you went 3 of 9 from 3. You attempted 9 3-pointers in the year 2025.
It's crazy.
That's unreal. Of course you lost.
I'm going to say it's because Ohio State's good, but we'll go ahead and say it's because Purdue sucks.
But, gentlemen, I put 3 games.
Ooh.
What?
Feed me Purdue at a 5 seed. Give me the 12 money line. Big.
Hey,
McNeese.
I picked 3 games for you guys in the script. We got 1 on Friday and 2 on Saturday. I just want to hear your picks, and then we're going to throw it to the other guys. All right? I'm going to start with Mackey. Mackey, we got Michigan at Purdue on Friday. Saturday, we got Houston at Kansas and Tennessee at Auburn. Give me your 3 picks.
I'm going to keep this real simple. Purdue ain't losing back-to-back home games, even though I think Michigan's the better team. So I'm going to take Purdue. I am going to take Houston. I don't buy this Kansas team at all. I don't care how tough it is to play at the Fog. I don't buy into them at all. Houston needs a big win. And then I'm just going to keep it real simple on rolling. Auburn, big.
DP?
Yeah, I think the Tigers, Auburn, yes, on the new Beanie. Looks great. I think Houston's too much defense for Kansas right now. They're struggling to put the ball in the hole. Too much defense. Give me Houston. And I really hate both these teams in this Michigan-Purdue game. But dun 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 dun. Hail Michigan.
John, who you going?
Wow, my 2 least favorite teams. You know what? We're going back to back. Michigan and Ohio State went back to back in football, and Ohio State and Michigan are going back to back in Mackey. Give me the Michigan Wolverines to absolutely annihilate Purdue. Vlad Golden, Danny Wolf are going to be way too much for this nobody of a Purdue front court. I mean, way too much. Michigan's honestly, Trey Donaldson, Braden Smith, great matchup. Namari Burnett, stud. Michigan rolls. I think Michigan might win this game by 10, truth be told.
John, does this game have potential of a motorboating?
I think Michigan can go into Mackey and absolutely motorboat them. And I would love to watch that game with dinner and Colton Burdine.
Shout out CB.
And then we'll keep it real simple. Of course, we have the winner. We have the national champion, Rock Chalk Jayhawk. And as Mackey said, Auburn by 20. Well, Auburn by 30.
Yep. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to inform you that this is a bad idea because I completely agree with John. You can feed me Michigan, Wolf, and Golden. Too big for Little Kaufman. Then you can feed me the Rock Chalk Jayhawks and shout out Uncle Lance. Give me the Auburn Tigers. They ain't losing at home. That Tennessee team, shout out Huffine, Auburn might beat them by 30. Seriously. I do know that Tennessee has the best perimeter defense in the country, though. So that could keep them in the game. But you can give me Auburn big there.
Shout out to Van Huffine, most loyal Tennessee fan, honestly fan period I've ever seen in my life, wearing Tennessee orange to the national title game.
Yeah. Legend.
Awesome.
Legend in
What a
Van
legend.
Huffine. But what do you have something to say?
Breaking news: Malik Reneau is back in a Hoosiers uniform.
Yeah, Hoosiers suck. Anyways, we're rolling into the NFL. And yesterday, boy, oh boy, did we get some big news for the Chicago Bears. Ben Johnson, welcome to Chicago, brother. I love seeing all the social media videos about you. You know, you telling everyone to get back to work, shows your sense of humor and stuff like that. And you come to a Cubs series every year, and you just know that the Chicago culture is there. I'm excited for what he's got to bring for the team. And DP, I'm going to throw it to you. Obviously, the other Bears fan here. Was this the right hire, and do you agree with it?
You know, as we talked prior on, some of the other pods, obviously I wanted Vrabel to be the head coach, but he seemed to be, a shoe-in for the Patriots job, as soon as they fired Mayo. I thought they were going to hire, a more experienced guy. That's what I said a couple weeks ago, Pete Carroll or Ron Rivera. But hey, it seemed like they got their guy here, and I think Ben Johnson's going to try and bring some of that Detroit culture over to Chicago. The Lions are just getting stripped right now of coaches. I mean, they got guys going everywhere. It's kind of like how Bama was when Saban would bring in guys, and within a year they were all gone somewhere else. I think that's kind of what's happening here in Detroit. I think Ben Johnson's going to bring in a lot of good coaches, fire all the shitty ones that they had, and I think it'll be a good hire for the Bears. I do like how he said he enjoys beating Matt LaFleur twice a year.
That was awesome. I saw that.
So that fired me up in the press conference. Shout out Ben Johnson. Caleb, you can actually look at your phone now. It's not some kids messing with you. It is Ben Johnson calling you.
Shout out Caleb's barber. He looks good with a shaved head. Did you see that?
Yes, Caleb, DJ, Rome, and Cole Kmet all in the front row of the presser. Let's score some points.
Let's score some
What color
points.
nails?
Shout out Thor on the call.
Yeah. Don't get an English bulldog unless you want a Velcro dog. This guy has to be with me 24/7. We just wanted to be on the pod with us, but guess I'll roll right into the Bears segment.
Yep.
This was a home run hire, absolute home run, grand slam hire. Bears just need to be patient with Caleb. This is a very complex offense that Ben runs, and it's going to take some time to learn it. More than likely, more than preseason and training camp. So just bear with it. And I think it's a home run hire. I just don't want to hear any dumbass Bears fans, which is not you two, running him out of town after 6 games if the offense is averaging 20 points a game and they're 2-4. It's going to take time.
Yeah, I love it, Mackie. I think that was a good analysis. John, what do you think?
Congrats, Ben Johnson. You went from floating on the lazy river down into a sinkhole. You went from the best offense in the NFL to an absolute shit show in Chicago. I mean, hopefully they get it right for you guys' sake. They won't. The franchise is just bad. It's not. It's more than the coach. It's more than the players. It's deep into this whole organization, man. And I can't give credit to the Bears fans or even delusional Bears fans until they win more than 8 games in a season. I mean, again,
go look at our away schedule next year.
I was just about to say they play the second toughest schedule in football next year. They'll probably go 3-14, and Ben Johnson will be fired after 1 season.
Yeah, you're
it's
an idiot.
just the most typical Bears thing to do in the world.
You're an idiot.
But I do think this was the best available coach. If I was the Bears, I would have went out and got Pete Carroll. Go get a veteran, a guy that can rally a bunch of young guys. They have potential. Caleb Williams sucks, but other than that, Roman Dunze is good. Cole Kmet's good, and they'll be all right.
AR's real good. But
Go figure he brings up the Colts. I'm going to start calling him Justin.
Yeah. We're rolling into the second topic of the NFL. Aaron Glenn is the head coach of the New York Jets. Mikey Over was fired up to see him. Yeah, I saw his tweet earlier. He was excited but nervous. Guys, is Aaron Glenn a good fit for the New York Jets?
This guy just got a head coaching job after getting fucking pantsed 45 points on Saturday night. Are you kidding me?
Mackie, continue.
I mean, I understand that his defense is injured and he's a good head coaching prospect, but how can you watch that defense over the last 10 to 12 weeks of the season, really since Hutchinson went out, and be like, "Oh yeah, dude, this is the hire. This is the guy." But I mean, I guess when your other option was Rex Ryan, this might not be too bad in the grand scheme of things. That fat ass.
Wow.
John, what do you think about Aaron Glenn on the Jets?
Congrats. You just went from Robert Saleh to Robert Saleh. You went from Robert Saleh to a worse Robert Saleh. I mean, if Aaron Rodgers stays there, it's going to be a shit show for Jets fans again. I mean, these people have been put through so much misery. I truthfully don't like the hire, but who else was out there?
Yeah, there was no
There
one.
wasn't
It was Slim
much.
Pickens.
And, you know, like I told you guys with the Bears, I don't like defensive head coaches. I just don't. They don't win. Like, it's tough. The only one that's really won as a defensive head coach is Bill Belichick, and he's the greatest quarterback of all time in Tom Brady. So I don't like the hire. I'm not saying Aaron Glenn's a bad coach, but I mean, a rookie quarterback just put up 45 on you in your home field. So, I mean, there's definitely questions to be answered. I'd get the fuck out of the city too.
DP?
Yeah, this Jets defense was, a better defense in the NFL. They were third in defensive yards allowed this year. And getting a defensive coach, can make the defense better, but Rodgers ain't him anymore. Devontae Adams ain't him anymore. So offensively, the Jets are in turmoil. Yeah, it's just until you get the offense, figured out. Maybe bring back Zach Wilson. I mean, the offense is just turmoil in New York right now for the Jets. So I thought the hire was okay, but what are you gonna do? Boast your defense a little bit more? You still can't score. So I think that's the only bad thing for the Jets.
Yeah, I think this was a horrible decision out of the Jets. He has zero head coaching ability. The Jets are already or experienced, I meant to say. I don't want to say he's got zero head coaching ability, but that time will tell. But like Mackey said, I mean, he's getting a head coaching position after giving up 47 points in a playoff game. Are we serious? I mean, are we serious? I mean, like you said, John, who was left? But still, I mean, this guy was, yeah, like Mackey. I mean, I agree with almost everything Mackey said. Mackey says that Glenn's talking about how good his defense is, and he's given up probably the most points in the second half of the season. I mean, he's lucky that Ben Johnson can go have 4 downs to get a first down. You know what I mean?
Jaden Daniels is running 15 yards down the sideline for a first on 3rd and 15, and he's standing there like this. Like, dude, coach, change your scheme. You did nothing at halftime. You
Take your
got worse
glasses
after
off, you
halftime.
librarian.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people gave Ben Johnson a lot of grief in that game, but it's not his fault. Goff turned the ball over 3 times. They had 500 and some yards of offense and scored 31 points in a playoff game. If that doesn't win you a football game, then that's not on Ben Johnson.
100% agree.
Yeah, and we're gonna get into this, so let's go ahead and switch over to him because I got a lot to say about the play call with Jameson Williams throwing the football down 14 with your season on the line.
Oh, do you want to go over those games, or do you want to go into the championships?
Sure, let's go into the championships. Let's move on. That Lions hell of a season. We all knew they weren't going to win. I told you guys all year their defense wasn't good enough to win a championship.
So, John, I obviously have to start with you. What do we think is going to happen? Mahomes versus Allen.
What happened the last 4 times? Patrick Mahomes is going to win. It's simple as that. The Chiefs win games. You know what? I can sit here all day and I can listen to this team against the refs, this team against the refs. At the end of the day, Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid win football games. And what do you know? Postseason, when it matters, Travis Kelce shows up. Every single year. These guys just win. I'm so sick of hearing every excuse in the world of why they shouldn't win, why they get every call. Because they're winners. Because Patrick Mahomes has earned those calls. Yes, he flops. And as I told Justin, my dumbass friend, if you were going to get those,
My dumbass.
if you were going to get those calls, you would do it too. Brady got those calls his whole career. Aaron Rodgers got those calls his whole career.
Jay Cutler.
Doesn't make it acceptable, John. The NFL has a serious officiating issue. in the
Okay,
biggest
but
teams.
Mac,
It does
you
happen to
can't-
be when the Chiefs are on the field.
you cannot take away what this Chiefs team has done, man.
Nobody's
I
going to
under-
argue what they've done. Everyone's just saying that there needs to be some consistency.
Okay, so simple as this: the Chiefs will beat the Bills on Sunday. We'll keep it real simple.
Then the Manders and the Eagles, John. You know, J-May has a Commanders jersey.
I hate Jalen Hurts. I do not like Jalen Hurts. He can't. If Washington plays 11 guys on the line of scrimmage, I don't know if the Eagles will gain a yard because Jalen Hurts can't hit air routes. I do not think he's a good quarterback. He's not a good NFL quarterback. And also, he's banged up. And let's just be honest, guys. This kid's a rookie. Me and DP don't like it very much. But this kid is unflappable. I mean, he honestly looks unstoppable, guys. He looks unstoppable. So here, simple as this: Chiefs, Commanders, Super Bowl. And we know who will win that one, but we'll break that down later.
Mackie, Bills, Chiefs matchup, Commanders, Eagles matchup. Give me your picks and why.
It's time. It's time. Peyton broke the curse against Brady in 07. It's Josh Allen's year to break the curse, and he's doing it in Arrowhead. Once again, Chiefs offense not built to score points. Their defense very good. That wall breaks down again on Sunday. Chiefs and Bills played once this year. Bills controlled the game. I expect a very similar outcome, and I expected Baltimore to win last week, obviously, and I thought Baltimore would win in Kansas City as well. Chiefs can't keep getting away with it. Devil Magic's done. Give me
This is
Josh
why you're always
Allen.
wrong, dude.
Yep. Give me Josh Allen. Give me the Buffalo Bills. 27-23. Mahomes throws a pick on the final drive.
All right. Well, you can't forget about the second
There'll
game,
be a
kid.
flag on that play, Mackie.
Yeah, you're right, probably. And I do respect Mahomes. I've been the biggest Mahomes guy ever. It ain't his year, John. I'm sorry. He's not been good.
Mackie, Manders, Eagles, kid.
Yep. Give me the birds.
Give me the birds.
27-7.
I don't know who I saw on Twitter. I don't know if it was Philly's mayor. She was spelling out Eagles in front of a huge crowd, and she said ELGLES, Eagles, go Birds. You're
Been
a
there.
dumbass. But
Been there
Mackie,
after a
continue.
six-pack, though.
What do you say?
What, Mac?
Been there after a six-pack.
Yeah, yeah. All
Give me
right.
the Eagles 27-17. And then we'll talk about the Super Bowl after. Eagles-Buffalo.
DP.
Yeah, I'm taking the Washington as well. As John. I just think that Saquon's obviously your biggest problem. AJ Brown and Devontae Smith are great receivers, you know what I mean? But they have nobody who can give them the football. Saquon's your biggest problem. If you can contain him, and by containing him, if that means holding him to under 150 yards rushing, sure, you have a chance to win the game. I think Nakobe Dean was a quality leader with Zach Bond in the middle for the Eagles, and I think they're really going to miss him in this game. So that's why I'm taking Washington. Obviously, as John stated, we only really don't like Washington because they ended Baker's season. Shout out Baker, you're a phenomenal human.
Shout out Baker.
So yeah, I'm taking Washington in this one. And before I touch on this pick, I've been seeing a lot of stuff on Twitter that Mahomes gets way less calls than Josh Allen, and it's by like a good margin of 30%. And the only thing that I do agree with what people were replying was the time of the call. It always seems to happen in a time where, there's a big play that happened, or roughing the passer, him sliding late. The NFL needs to change that, by the way. PI at the end of the game. The Bengals would be in the playoffs if they didn't call that. But nobody circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills. Give me the Bills in this game in Arrowhead. Bills, Manders, moneyline parlay, 6-1, low hanging fruit, Mac.
So go figure. Johnny and I are on the same thing. You could feed me the Commanders. Jalen Hurts is a fraud. Saquon Barkley is the only good player on the team. His rushing prop is 134 and a half.
Thought it was 140 on DraftKings now.
Is it?
I can check while you're talking.
This guy's unbelievable. He hurdles guys backwards. Reminds me of me in the backyard. But
Idiot.
this Commanders team is actually nasty. Terry McLaurin, stud. Jaden Daniels, stud. How do you say his name? Deani?
Deami Brown.
Deami Brown, stud, apparently. Hey, Amon-Ra, he was on that list. He's still in the playoffs.
Cornball.
Yeah, but you can feed me the Commanders. And then, Johnny, what's that saying?
Never bet against Patrick Mahomes.
You can give me the Chiefs. The Black Magic's still there. Taylor Swift's still there. The Bad Voodoo's still there. Arrowhead will still come on top. Give me the Chiefs. And then I'll start us off with the Super Bowl pick. You can give me the Commanders, dumbass. Give me the Chiefs. Chiefs 27. Commanders
It's a number, dude.
19. I think they're going to have to go for 2 at some point. And Travis Kelce throws a touchdown in the Super Bowl. Book it. Anybody else but a quarterback to throw a touchdown, it's usually about plus 2,000. I hammered it last year. Shout out Jennings.
Chiefs.
That was so awkward.
What my score prediction? 38-37. Chiefs. I think that bum kicker for the Commanders misses an extra point to lose the game.
Zane Gonzalez?
Yep. Hey, what do the Chiefs know how to do? Win football games. They'll find a way at the end, but it's going to be close. Both of these games, all 3 of the games left in the NFL season are going to be awesome. So I think very close by a thin margin. And I think you'll see the Chiefs offense finally become explosive. I mean, their defense is so good. They really haven't had to win games like that anymore. So all this yap about Mahomes had a bad year. Shut up, Mackey. He's a 3-time Super Bowl champion. He's 28 years old. He'll be a 4-time champion in 3 weeks, dumbass.
It doesn't mean he's having a good year. Nothing you said moves me.
Mackie, continue about what you're saying. Who is your pick to win the
Johnny
Super Bowl?
talking out of his ass per usual. Nothing he said moves me. Does not change the fact. Like I said, I thought the winner of the Ravens-Bills game was going to be the Ravens, and I shared the sentiment the winner of that game wins the Super Bowl. Give me Buffalo 24-21. Close. Tyler Bass with a minute left, and then Hurts unfortunately throws a pick.
EP?
Yeah, am I the only one that still has their champion alive from the first time that we did this?
I picked the Chiefs.
I picked the Chiefs too.
You had the Chargers, dude.
Oh, I did. I picked the Eagles.
Oh, weird.
I did.
He said weird. EP, you picked Bills commies. Who do you got?
Yeah, Bills, I think it's going to be high scoring. I think all these games, I think the Super Bowl could be one of the highest scoring Super Bowls that we've ever seen. You know, something like how the Patriots Eagles was, you know, I think it's going to be in that range. I'll go 38-35 Buffalo, Josh Allen, 500 total yards of offense.
Wow.
I did pick the Eagles to win the Super Bowl, didn't I?
You did.
Fuck the Eagles.
But
Shout out Beer Man, huh?
yeah, shout out Beer Man on the call. But John, we are finishing up the segment and we're throwing it to yours. Give us your first topic on some NBA hoops.
Yeah, so we're gonna go over, because it's been a coaching carousel in the NBA lately. Obviously with the Mike Brown fire, middle of the year with a 20-20 team where there's a lot of teams floating around there. So I want you guys to go ahead and give me your top 3 NBA coaches right now at this day and age. Who do you think are the top 3 coaches in the NBA? And we'll keep it simple. We'll go ahead and start with you, Matt. Go ahead and give me what your thoughts here, and I'll tell you if I agree with you or not, or if you're an idiot.
I mean, this is it's so tough because are you going to throw in any of the newer coach or any of the up and coming coaches, or are you going to stick with all old heads? Because it, it I would still put Popovich at 1 and Spoelstra at 2 unanimously. And then 3, it's tough. 3 is really, really tough. There's a lot of different guys that you could go with for that spot. But I'm gonna stick with another old head, and I'm gonna go Steve Kerr at 3. I don't buy the Nick Nurse above Kerr. What about you guys?
DP.
Yeah. I know the team's been down, but I think Spoelstra, like mentally as an NBA head coach, is kind of like nuts to me. Like from a guy who got that job, breaking down film, for the NBA. Like it's just nuts on how knowledgeable the game is, and I think he's just an absolute stud of a coach. Jimmy Butler gets suspended for 2 games. I thought that came out, today, whatever. I don't really know what's going on with that. Um, and I like Mike Malone as well. I just think what, he's been able to do, for the most part, it's kind of been, the Joker, like Jamal Murray been hurt, hanging out on IG Live too much, but like him being able to centric that offense around Jokic, having MPJ, Aaron Gordon, I think they all really like flow together well. And then, I mean, if you want to go old head like with Mackey, Pop, but I like Taylor Jenkins as well in Memphis. Please get Ja like off of all social media. Let him do whatever he has to do. Don't post stupid shit. I just think he's a good coach. I like how fired up, he gets for the team, for the players. I think, some of these guys in the NBA might lose that, like, hey, like kind of that factor of, I made it. So like I don't have to like, worry about that anymore. Whereas you see, people like Hurley who yell at their players 24/7. I think sometimes NBA guys getting set back to that is really good. So I like how he gets fired up.
Z.
Yeah, I'm with Mackey and DP here. I think Spoelstra is the best coach in the NBA, and I think it has been. Him and 1A, 1B, Popovich and him for the past 10 years. Um, my second coach that I think is the best in the NBA, give me Coach Tibbs. He's not a moron. Hey, your starters can play 40 minutes. Who cares? You play the best 5 guys for the whole game. It's a great theory, and it's mathematically great. These guys don't need breaks, John. You got timeouts.
I agree.
You got timeouts. You're getting millions of dollars to go play a game that we play all the time.
And you don't play defense in the NBA. So.
Yeah. Then my third coach, shout out Ron here. Coach Mark D's got those Thunder boys playing.
Diagonal.
Wow. And I think he's a fantastic young coach, man. To be able to lead this such young group of guys into what we've all said. Kona on the call. But yeah, I mean,
Hey, come here.
Kona, we're talking about the Thunder, dude.
Talking about the Thunder. You're okay.
Yeah, but you can give me Mark D. He just got those young guys playing well, man. And like we said, Shea's the best player in the NBA, debatably. And I mean, that Thunder team is so good. Like it's them and the Cavaliers. That's all you hear about. Like they're on a record. Both of them are on a record-breaking pace. I think the Thunder is for their franchise record because I don't think they're going to beat the record of best NBA. The Cavs have a chance though, but Thunder are going to break their franchise record, and I think that starts with your coach. So give me Spoelstra, Coach Tibbs, and Coach Mark D, baby.
So, unfortunately, Zach read my mind and he took my number 1, which is Tom Thibodeau. First of all, I don't disagree with anything that any of you guys said. I like the whole throwing the pop in there. I like that. Obviously, he's arguably the greatest NBA coach ever. There's a lot of guys that have different examples of who that is, but Tom Thibodeau, I agree with Zach. He plays his guys. He plays it as if like it were a college basketball game, and it means something. So, I mean, I know Mikal Bridges leads the league in minutes per game. So Josh Hart in the playoffs last year played 6 straight games, all 48 minutes. So, yeah, I like what Tibbs does. He's hard on his guys. He doesn't have a, oh, you're an NBA player, you're a multimillionaire, you got more money than me attitude, like where Lakers teams, LeBron's usually the coach of the basketball team. And then number two, this guy's kind of a dark horse, and none of you probably even thought of this guy. Quinn Snyder, the Hawks head coach. Think about this Hawks team, They went to the Eastern Conference Finals, and then how many times do you see that Hawks team as a 16, 17, 18-point underdog and you find out they win the basketball game? I mean, what he does with what he's got, Trae Young's his best player, dude. He's 5'11". Like, even those years when John Collins was there, Quinn Snyder, to me, even with those Jazz teams, he's just a heck of an NBA coach. I think he's got a great NBA mind. I think he, to me, and this is kind of a bold take, is one of the next Spoelstras. He's a film guy, he's a brain guy, and him, to me, is one of the best coaches in the NBA. And then number three, I'm going to kind of go old school here just because of what he's done. He's the winningest person in all of NBA basketball, Steve Kerr. The only reason I go with him is because he's had so many different teams and he's been able to win with every team he's had. Like, you got to think, when KD came there, super teams haven't worked anywhere else. And KD went there and Steve Kerr flourished. He came up with a good role, and Warriors won 2 championships with KD. And, he doesn't let Draymond get in his head. When he wants to bench him, he benches him. And that's why I respect Steve Kerr so much, Mackie, shut your mouth over there. The Warriors are the greatest organization in the NBA. Anyways, my next question to you guys.
No, John, I want to ask this real quick. You said
Go ahead.
super teams don't work besides the Warriors. Would you say the Heat didn't work?
That was 10 years ago, dude.
Okay, the Warriors was what, 8?
It is 2025. Happy New Year. Mackie, is Chris Paul a Hall of Famer?
Yes.
Why is he a Hall of Famer to you?
Why not? Longevity, numbers. I don't care that he doesn't have a ring. Basketball is not an individual sport. He's one of the more selfless guys in the NBA. He's a solid defender. And then one of the best assist men we've ever seen, period. Plus the longevity. I mean, I can't believe the guy's still playing and playing at a good level.
Yeah, I agree. I also think that he's a Hall of Famer. And we just picked a random player to talk about today. Next week will probably be the same thing. But I mean, yeah, man, from the Hornets to the Thunder to the Spurs. Who else did he play for?
The Clippers.
Yeah, Clippers. Duh, how did I forget that?
You said Warriors?
Yeah, Warriors. I mean, like Mackie said, his longevity is crazy. He's played for a lot of teams, and he's just one of those guys where everyone respects. When he comes in an organization, that he's going to give out. He is going. It's like Russell Westbrook right now. Like, Russell Westbrook's playing phenomenal for the Nuggets, and I'm not comparing the two players. I personally think that Russell Westbrook's better than him, but Chris Paul and Russell Westbrook just fit in the two systems that they're playing in right now. Like, seeing Chris Paul and Victor Wembanyama run a pick and roll offense is just the craziest thing. Like, a 19-year-old with like a 40-year-old throwing him the ball. And we obviously understand how good Victor is, but it's just so funny seeing like these two players are playing together and playing at such a high level. But yeah, to answer John's question, I do think Chris Paul is a Hall of Famer. And what do you think, DP?
Yeah, I'm in agreement as well. A 17 point per game regular season, 9.5 assists, 4.5 rebounds. That's a quality stat line for how many years that he's played in the NBA. And, don't forget, he should have a ring because shout out David Stern, you still suck. Vetoed that trade. He should have been playing with Kobe. But instead, the commissioner vetoed the trade. So, being able to have CP and Kobe on the same team would have been kind of nuts to watch, back in the early 2000s, well, mid 2000s. But I do think he's a Hall of Famer. Like they said, one of the best assist man of the year. I think he's just an overall great player. I think that year, him being in OKC showed Shea how to be the leader that Shea is today. I think, CP is a great guy to learn from. And, him being able to just impact guys, hopping from Houston to, even being with Steph, now with San Antonio, kind of just teaching those guys, hey, like, I may not have a ring, but, like, I know how to win. I think that's, huge for people like Wembanyama and Shea to learn. And hey, I think both those guys are gonna be studs. They already are studs. So I think they've definitely learned something from Chris.
What do you think, John?
Yeah, so I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. There's a reason I actually brought this topic up because I got a debate with a kid at work today, and I actually disagree with all of you. You know me, I'm a big ring guy. I think rings matter. I think Chris Paul is absolutely he's good. He's been consistently good his whole career. But guys, he hasn't even played in an NBA Finals.
Yes, he
Like
has.
it
With
when
Phoenix.
with Phoenix. Okay, so he played in one at 37 years old, 36 years old, with Devin Booker as the main star on that team. Okay, so anyway, he doesn't have a ring. Rings matter to me. If he can somehow find a way to get a ring with a young Victor Wembanyama, or he can go play for OKC next year because they might win the next 5 NBA championships. I think that if he gets a ring, he's a Hall of Famer. But if he doesn't and he just retires, he's going to go down as just being Chris Paul, a great passer, a great player, and from what I've heard, not a great teammate. So,
The only thing that really sucks about that is some of that stuff with the Clippers wasn't his fault. Doc Rivers just is abysmal, in the playoffs. Hang on to your '08 championship because that's the most like talked about championship ever because all those players have nothing else to hold on to. And how many times did Blake Griffin get hurt? DeAndre Jordan get hurt? Him himself get hurt in the playoffs? Like he beat the Spurs, what, game 7? He had a torn quad and he was still out there playing when he was with the Clippers. And some of that stuff, it really isn't his fault. But
yeah, it'll be interesting.
Yeah,
It'll be
totally.
interesting in 5 years to see what the NBA decides on it. But go ahead and pass to Mac.
Yeah, Max. So wrapping this shit up, give us the low-hanging fruit.
Tough week. You got 2 NFL games. I don't like playing either of them straight up. I'm gonna be honest with you, but I'm gonna play a 6-point teaser here. This week I'm gonna take under. I'm gonna add 6 to Washington and Philly. We're gonna go under 53.5, and we're gonna take 6 with Buffalo. Buffalo at +8. Take those 6 points, get it right at about -110, and just enjoy a stress-free Sunday with a drink.
Mac, that sounds pretty good to me.
Yeah, I'll be enjoying my brother's baby shower.
Yeah.
Championship
I
Sunday.
just happen to think that Philly's defense is a little too good to let Washington do to them
Yeah.
what they did to the Lions. And I know the last 2 games have been decently high score. The one in DC was high scoring. The one at Lincoln Financial stayed under that total. It was a primetime game, and I see this game being awfully similar to that one.
Well, I love it, Mackie. Well, thank you for your picks. The 6-point teaser. Might have to try it out.
Yes.
Probably will. But that's wrapping us up, guys. Episode 16. Thank you guys for watching.
Losers.
Yeah, Mackie's finishing up the bourbon. It's time for the episode to come
Trey
to an end.
Galloway's at the free
Time
throw
for a
line.
refill.
Yeah,
Hoosiers are up 3 at Northwestern.
this guy won't shut up.
Beanie Boys out.
Beanie Boys out, guys. Have a good one.